Thank you, Madam President. I rise for a point of personal privilege.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. As we begin Black History Month, I wanted to note that 150 years ago today, with Iowa's ratification of the 15th Amendment, it became ratified and part of our Constitution, forbidding the denial of U.S. citizens' rights to vote on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. The prior year, Virginia ratified both the 15th and the 14th Amendment, and in 1867, the first African American men voted in Virginia. Approximately over 105,000 registered to vote, and 93,145 voted for delegates to create a new constitution that would allow Virginia to be readmitted to the Union. 24 of the delegates to that convention were African American men. After that convention and that constitution were adopted, in 1869, 24 African American men were elected to the House of Delegates, and 6 were elected to the Senate. Very briefly, I want to tell you who those 6 of our colleagues were. James William D. Bland, who was a carpenter, a cooper, and a U.S. tax assessor, was born free in Farmville in 1844. He served in 1867 and was one of 60 persons killed on the second floor of the Capitol when the floor collapsed. Isaiah Lyons, a native of New York, who came to Virginia before the Civil War, died while serving in office in 1871. And after his death, the Virginia General Assembly awarded his wife $52 to cover funeral expenses. William P. Mosley, a slave born in 1819, was a house servant and operated a freight boat. He obtained his freedom before the Civil War and represented Goochland County in the Constitutional Convention and in the Senate. He ran for Congress as a Republican in 1880, but was defeated by the Readjuster Party. Francis Frank Moss was a farmer and minister born free in 1825 in Buckingham County. He served in the Constitutional Convention, in the House of Delegates, representing Buckingham, and in the Senate from 1869 to 1871. John Robinson was born in 1822, a lawyer and graduate of Hampton Institute. He represented Cumberland County in the convention and in the Senate until 1873. He worked as a mail carrier, operated a saloon and a general store in the 1870s. And George Timo, a carpenter born a slave in Portsmouth in 1818. An accomplished orator, he was a delegate to the Virginia Black Convention of 1865 and was a Union League organizer. He served in the Constitutional Convention, but generally remained silent. He served in the Senate from 1869 to 1871, and due to party factionalism was denied renomination to the Senate, but ran unsuccessfully for the House of Delegates. Unfortunately, these 6 individuals and their 24 colleagues down the hall were lost to history until another one of our colleagues, Senator Yvonne Miller, wanting to do a speech on Black History Month, asked Brenda Edwards in Legislative Services to research who the first African Americans were to serve in this body. Thanks to that question and Brenda Edwards' tireless research, we were able to pass a resolution in 2012 recognizing all of the African American men who served during Reconstruction and in the Constitutional Convention, and their plaques listing all of their names downstairs. Unfortunately, we don't always teach our history in school, but through the tireless efforts of those individuals who keep their stories alive, we can get it right and recognize them officially, as we have done and as I hope we continue to do for the rest of this month. Thank you, Mr. President.